Yo, what's good? Everyday superpower where we talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. I come to you with a little bit of personal philosophy, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm going to speak to the men and I'm going to speak to you personally in saying, let me have a deek. Consuming doesn't create action, okay? Endless consuming does not make a strong man, does not make a developed man, does not make a progressive man, does not make a successful man, okay? And this is through trial and error and establishing momentum through so many different means, through so many different formats, through experiencing time and time again the highs and lows day in, day out of creation and productivity and expanding my spectrum, whether it be physically, emotionally, psychologically, understanding a different perspective through self-education, application of that education in the real world, seeing how it portrays, seeing how it feeds back. You, my man, need to consume applicable information and education if you are to consume anything, right? You need to look at things through a different point of view. You don't consume entertainment for the sake of winding down, because those who create the mainstreams of media know that you're doing so to wind down and will utilize that media to manipulate you and hypnotize you into a weaker man than what you were prior to watching that. Okay, and this is real talk. This is real talk. Because the people who own the system don't want strong men. The people who own the system know that strong men will make real changes that they can't afford you to make. So what they will do is use these main outlets of media and entertainment, whether it be video games, whether it be, and maybe less so than in the past than it is now, but now we know, these media operations have to abide by particular political systems, structures, and hiring processes, and enforce particular political agendas in order to go forth and actually get rewards, actually get awards, actually get put in the magazines and garner the advertisement and promotion that video creator wants for the sake of creating financial income, if not fame and stroking the ego. This is how Hollywood works, but it's infiltrated the rest of the media. So if you want to be more attractive to her, by default, I would say turn off the mainstreams of entertainment. Sell your television. You don't need it. Get off of your social media if you're not using it for any degree of productivity, if you're not garnering any education off of it, if you're not developing as a man. If anything, you're only deteriorating as a man as your brain starts to rot and you start to get force-fed this mesmerizing surplus of degenerate content, which your frequency does align to. Okay, if you're brought up in a poverty stricken area and the message you're intaking every day through the music that has been promoted to your people is destructive and degenerate and re-amplifies and imprisons you into this state of mind and circumstance, you're only going to continue operating on that frequency, right? When you add these people in this environment on social media and you just see this lower frequency, lack of intelligence stomped on by the powers that be people, it's only going to tighten this web that you have been encaptured in, right? Your frequency is going to remain parallel to the flipping floor. Yeah, you're not going to be able to elevate. You're going to hit a glass ceiling very fucking soon. So you need to rid yourself of that which isn't in your favor. And you might not be aware of it now, but as you start to educate yourself and look into people, look into advertisement, look into finding your dopamine through a means that isn't of just mindless consumerism, of buying brands from a company, of supporting those that don't acknowledge your existence, because you start to develop a single-handed pride in yourself, right? You start to look at yourself as the man. You start to think, hey, I didn't save my money up to support this business that doesn't acknowledge me. I'm going to invest it in myself. Maybe I will start that business. Maybe I will wear my own clothing. Maybe I will establish my own brand. Maybe people will buy from me instead of me buying from them. You now become the creator instead of the consumer. You now become the producer, right? This is a pimp game, yeah? This is the way it goes. If you ain't pimping, you're hoeing, my friend. Stop the mindless consumerism, right? Become a general, not a soldier. Become a leader, not a follower. She is attracted to a leader, and you as a man have an inbuilt desire, a craving, an attraction to be number one. But when you're consuming pornography and wanking off to something that doesn't even exist, when you are watching these visuals of another man have sex with a woman, you're fucking your head up. These people are serving you this for free because they know they're doing so. Not only are you relieving yourself of that which gives you direction, power, and momentum, you know, on a biological basis, you are rewiring your brain to find something that is abnormal to be attractive, right? People say, oh, you're a cook and this and that. You might as well be if you're getting off watching a man fuck a woman on television that isn't you. You see where I'm coming from? This is some real game right here. This is the trick they play on you and tell you that it's all right. If it's given to you for free, it's BS. Yeah? You need to find a passion in producing, in creating, in leading, in taking the path less traveled, knowing that wherever it goes, the friction and the resistance you're experiencing traveling upon this path is growing you into a better, stronger, more educated, more well-rounded man that can reapply himself tenfold across the board in any position, any circumstance, any situation, to agree 100 million times better than the man who comes home from work after consuming and after, following and after taking orders, after taking instruction, after taking his wage packet, which isn't enough for him to move away from that workplace because it's modern day slavery, it's modern day pimping. Yeah. And then he comes home and he thinks, that was a hard day at work. What better way to escape my reality than become hypnotized by this situation? What better way to escape my circumstance than go and purchase products from a business that isn't mine, doesn't pay me back any degree of, return. It's not an investment whatsoever. It's just a Funko Pop that sits in my room because I am regressing back into a childlike state to avoid the responsibilities that have been placed upon my shoulders in adulthood, right? Putting you on game. I believe in you, man, and you believe in yourself, but if you want to be better, not only with women, but in regards to your process, getting what you want, getting what you've always desired and dreamed of. What did you dream of when you were a child? What were you fascinated by? You didn't care about making money when you were illustrating, when you were reading, when you were playing football, when you were running, sprinting, when you were fascinated in these means of expression. It was irrelevant. It just spoke to your soul. So have a think about that. Who are you really? And you can get that if you want, given you cut off everything that serves you no purpose and if anything is created to detract from your individuality, to prevent you and to blockade you from pursuing that path, because that individual who leads is a danger to them. They need followers. They need consumers to survive. They need people to go to work and come and spend their money on their business and continue this economic destruction of the people. Be different, man. I'm signing out on that. Click like and subscribe. Peace.